Ugh. I just brushed my teeth. Pink lemonade was not a good choice. Hello and welcome to my porch. My name is Roy. I am a home cook and amateur baker, and I am here on this channel typically sharing recipes that have helped me to lose over 125 pounds, whether those recipes are mine or someone else's. Obviously, I'm on the porch, so unless I were using the grill, I'm not going to be cooking right now. I am going to be answering questions from a tag for Tag Tuesday. I was tagged by Kim at A Girl and Her Phone, and these questions were created by Sandy over at Let's Get Fit with Sandy, and links to their channels and others who do participate will be in the description box below, as well as links to my blog, my Instagram, the 2 Facebook groups that I am a part of, and I am planning on doing a giveaway at some point. I don't know exactly when. My subscribers have really jumped up. I'm getting closer and closer to monetization. So I figured once I reach that monetization mark, that I would do a giveaway. And a lot of it will be some of my favorite food items, like my fiber gourmet pasta, which there is a link in my description box for 10% off. I don't get anything from it. But if you want to try that pasta, 2 bites a serving, why not? As well as some of the snacks. And I was thinking of including like one of my aprons, maybe a water bottle, something else with recipes with Roy on it. So today, since I'm looking glamorous, I got my hair cut thanks to the guys at Central Barbershop. Lou and Austin and Nick. Well, Lou was the one who cut it, but Austin's a very faithful subscriber, so shout out to Austin. Anyway, now that I no longer look like Colonel Sanders, because I also trimmed my beard today, I am ready for the camera. And I am ready for these tag questions, I hope. Now, this is a would you rather tag. And number 1 is, would you rather read the book or watch the movie? And while I love reading, and I believe I've mentioned in another tag at some point, I haven't, for some reason, the past 7 years or so, been reading as much as I used to. I do listen to audiobooks. It's not quite the same as holding a book in your hands. But for some reason, I just haven't been able to get into it. Typically, I would say I'd rather read the book. Most of the time when I've read a book and then seen the movie, I've been very disappointed. Very seldom has it ever gone the other way around, where I might have enjoyed the movie and maybe gone back to read the book and then been disappointed by the book. So I would have to say I'd rather read the book. Long-winded comment that was. Number 2, be your first love's second choice or your second love's first choice. I would have to say second love's first choice, because I believe that I would constantly be thinking they want this other person. I'm not that other person. And see, it's weird because I could go with my second choice if my first choice wasn't available or didn't care for me the way I cared for him or whatever. I could easily do that without thinking of the other person, but for some reason, and it must be some self-deprecating part of me, I guess, that can't imagine the other person would accept me as their second choice when the first choice was still out there. Interesting. Dr. Freud, paging Dr. Freud. So yeah, I would rather be my second love's first choice. I'd rather be the first choice. So I didn't feel, although I've gotten older and maybe I wouldn't feel the same way I would have back in the day. I mean, Paul and I don't have that issue. It's like we're very compatible, and so I don't know. I mean, I think I would still go second love's first choice, just to be on the safe side. Number 3, see the future or change the past. Well, I guess that would depend. If I can see the future, can I change it? And if not, I'd rather change the past. There are things in the past that I would like to change. Most of it has to do with my anxiety around things like driving. I think I've mentioned before I didn't start driving until I was 33. And that was because I would make plans with people and they would cancel on me, and they were my ride. So I had to end up giving up a lot of things just because I didn't have anyone to go with or take me or whatever. So I would probably choose change to the past. There are things in the past I'd rather change. And seeing the future, if I couldn't change it, what would be the point? So yeah, I think I'd rather change the past. Number 4, be with someone rich and boring or poor and interesting. Well, despite appearances, I am kind of boring. I like to, as I've mentioned before, I'm a homebody. I like being at home. I like hanging around the house. I like watching TV. I like boring stuff. Play video games sometimes. And so I think I'd probably rather be with someone rich and boring. Because interesting would have to push me outside my comfort zone. And I don't like being out there. It's scary. So yeah, I'd take rich and boring. That way, I don't think much would be expected of me, and I could be just as boring as I want to as well. 5, have a maid, chef, or chauffeur. Well, I wouldn't mind having a chef, but I'm too picky about the way things are done. So I'd rather remain my chef. A chauffeur would be nice, but I can drive wherever I do go, and being a homebody, I don't go many places. So I would have to say a maid. We do have a maid that comes in like once a month to help because physically I cannot do it anymore. So for that reason, I would choose having a maid. Although even if I were physically able, I always hated cleaning, so I'd still pick a maid. 6, have a soulmate or a life partner. I'm not exactly sure what the difference would be. Because, I mean, I think Paul and I are soulmates in that, and the way I take soulmates is we are extremely compatible. It's almost like two pieces of a puzzle that fit together. So, and he's also my life partner. So, I guess maybe the difference would be if you didn't have that puzzle-like connection. So yeah, I'd rather have a soulmate, I guess, if that were the differentiation, is that feeling like you're connected, comfort. There's a comfort there. Life partner, I suppose, doesn't necessarily have to have that. So yeah, I would go with soulmate. That was number 6. Number 7, get $4,000 a week now for the rest of your life, or $1 million. Kim, Did you send this B or whatever that was at me? Anyway, get $4,000 a week now for the rest of your life, or $1 million. Or $1 million now. I am not greedy. I would rather have $4,000 a week for the rest of my life. I can easily survive on that. If I had the $1 million now, I'm assuming we're not including taxes, I would probably bank it anyway and try not to touch it as much as possible just to keep that nest egg there, because I grew up very poor, and in money matters, I tend to be very practical. Paul's pushed me a little outside of that because he is open with his spending to have everyone have a good time. He's willing to spend money, whereas I am very stingy, or can be. But I'm more lax about it than I used to be. Although now, being on disability retirement, yeah, I definitely need to pinch my pennies again. But I would definitely go with $4,000 a week for the rest of my life, rather than having $1 million right now. 8, unlimited wealth, but mediocre health, or outstanding health, but very little money. Well, I've already got mediocre health. I mean, not really. For the most part, I am very healthy, except for the physical issues. But if this were the extent of my mediocre health, I would go for being rich. If it was worse, if it was like really poor health, I would go for a little money, and I'd rather have a good quality of life physically, and money wouldn't be able to fix that for me if my health were poor. So I would go with outstanding health and little money. Number 9, eternal wealth or superpowers. Sandy, you're getting almost as tricky as Jimmy. I know he didn't have any hand in these questions this week, so he's rubbing off on you, lady. Eternal wealth or superpowers. Well, if you go by the Bruce Wayne Batman standard, I could have both. It would all be tech-based that I would buy, but still. And while I would love to have superpowers, eternal wealth would allow me to help my friends and family in ways that superpowers really wouldn't, unless I were getting paid a lot of money to use them. So I would go with eternal wealth, because I would like to be able to share that wealth with others, help my friends, help my family, make sure everyone's set up for housing, for food, whatever it is. So I would go with eternal wealth. And the last question, number 10, be granted 10 wishes to give to someone else, or 20 wishes for yourself. You can't give one of your wishes to someone else. I would... That's a tough one, because if I could finagle it so that I could make those 20 wishes and not give them to someone, but say I could wish for unlimited wealth, then I could help the other people, just like I did with the eternal wealth in the last question. So yeah, I think I would go with 20 wishes for myself, because I know I could find a loophole to benefit other people. It didn't say I'm not giving them the wishes, but I might say, oh, I'd like a house, and this looks like this and this. And then I get it, and I don't want it. I'll give it to my brother or sister or whoever. So yeah, I would find a loophole and use those 20 wishes, some of it for myself, but I would be able to do things for other people without directly giving them the wishes. So, might be sneaky, but that's what I do. All right, so that is the end of the Would You Rather questions from Sandy over at Let's Get Fit with Sandy. And thank you once again, Kim, for tagging me now that Sandy has decided to give me back to you. I am going to tag, as usual, Jen and Steve over at Embracing Chaos with Jen. Mr. and Mrs. Chaos, tag, you are it. Can't wait to hear your questions, especially you, Steve. I can only imagine. I'm sure there'll be some conflict on that video. Anyway, that wraps this up from my porch here in the corner. I've been a bad boy, I'm in the corner again. Actually, we had a lot of rain, so I'm not going to be sitting out on the wet cushions. So, and I think I see Paul watching me from the kitchen. He just came out to get another cup of coffee, I think. So I'm going to keep this in the video so that he'll see it at the end by surprise. Check the links in the description box for my Instagram, my Facebook groups, the one I also have with Jennifer Lynn and Bree over at Balancing Life with Bree. And until the next tag or next video, bye.